بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تمسك بسنته بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد. After praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and sending the salutations upon the Messenger alayhi salatu wassalam, and upon his family and his companions, and upon all those who follow upon his guidance into the establishment of the last day, to proceed, ya ikhwan, فَاللَّهُمَّ إِنَّا نَعُوذَ بِكَ مِنْ عِلْمٍ لَا يَنْفَعُ وَمِنْ قَلْبٍ لَا يَخْشَعُ وَمِنْ نَفْسٍ لَا تَشْبَعُ وَمِنْ دُعَاءٍ لَا يُسْمَعُ. Verily, Ya Allah, we seek refuge with you from knowledge that has no benefit, and from a heart that has no fear, and from a soul that has no satisfaction nor contentment, and from a dua that goes unanswered. طيب، فنبدأ إن شاء الله تعالى القراءة من كتاب جديد من علم جديد. So tonight, or today, we're going to start reading from a new book with regards to a new science, إضافة إلى ما تعلمناه قبل, in addition to what we have learned previously in our earlier lessons. فهذا الدرس سيكون درسا في علم مصطلح الحديث. So tonight's class is a class whereas we're going to start studying from the science of al-hadith. ليس من حفظ الحديث وليس من شروح الحديث، لا، ندرس من مصطلح الحديث. So we're not going to study hadith particularly. We're not studying the meaning of a hadith. We're going to be studying the technical science of a hadith. ويسمى هذا العلم علم الحديث أو مصطلح الحديث. So this science here, I want you to write down two phrases. Here you can call tonight's class علم الحديث, the science of hadith, or مصطلح الحديث. You can say علم الحديث or مصطلح الحديث, the technical terms or the technical meaning of each particular type of al-hadith. You can call that علم الحديث, علم الحديث for your brothers that can write Arabic and you sisters that can write Arabic. Ain, Lam, Mim. علم الحديث, علم الحديث. Second word, Alif, Lam, Alif. الحديث. Ha, Dal, Ya, Tha. الحديث. Take the second Alif away. I said Alif, Lam, Alif. Alif, Lam, Ha. Alif, Lam, Ha. Dal, Ya, Tha. علم الحديث, the science of hadith. Or you can call it مصطلح الحديث, مصطلح الحديث. وهذا الكتاب رتبه الإمام محمد بن طه البيقوني رحمه الله تعالى في المنظوم أو قد يقول في الشعر. So the author of this book, his name is Muhammad ibn Taha. Some scholars call him Taha ibn Muhammad. Some call him Umar ibn Taha. They differ over his name into many possibilities. Some say Muhammad ibn Taha. Some say Taha ibn Muhammad. Some say Umar ibn Taha. They differ over his name. One of the most famous choices is Muhammad ibn Taha. Some scholars say Taha ibn Muhammad. So write this down, ya ikhwan. The author's name is Taha ibn Muhammad. Taha ibn Muhammad. Al-Bayquni. So the book is named after the author. وهذا كثير. And you find that a lot. عندما المؤلف يسمي كتابه تحت اسمه. With the author, he names a book after his name. His name. Sahih al-Bukhari, مؤلفه الإمام البخاري. The authentic book of hadith by Bukhari, the Sahih of al-Bukhari, is called Al-Bukhari because Bukhari's name is, or he's from Bukhara. He's from Bukhara. So I want you to write Taha ibn Muhammad. Taha ibn Muhammad. Al-Bayquni. Al-Bayquni. طيب. ففي الأغلبية هذا أول كتاب يدرس في علم المصطلح. في علم المصطلح. Usually, with the scholars of hadith, this is the first book that they recommend the students of hadith to learn. It's an easy book. It only has 33, 34 lines of poetry. طيب. فأرسلنا كتابا إلى ماذا؟ إلى موقع تليجرام. فالذين له هذا الموقع يمكنه أن يحمل هذا الكتاب أو أن يظهر هذا الكتاب على الشاشة. So our brothers and our sisters, there's a copy of the book on the telegram of the masjid. So you can download it on your device or bring it up on your screen. Insha'Allahu ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Insha'Allahu ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. طيب. أقول وأنتم تقولونه بعدي. I'll say it and you will say it after me. اليوم نحاول إن شاء الله تعالى أن نحفظ بيتين. أن نحفظ بيتين. Today we're going to try our best to memorize the first two lines. The first two lines. طيب. قال الإمام البيقوني. قال الإمام البيقوني رحمه الله تعالى. قال الإمام البيقوني رحمه الله تعالى. أبدأ بالحمد. مصليا على محمد خير نبي أرسل. أبدأ بالحمد مصليا على محمد خير نبي أرسل. أبدأ بالحمد مصليا على محمد خير نبي أرسل. أبدأ بالحمد مصليا على محمد خير نبي أرسل. طيب الآن منفردا. So now let's do it individually inshallah ta'ala. Each one we're going to take a turns inshallah. I'll say it, you say it one by one. Our brother, what's your name again? Hamza. Mashallah. Salah Hamza. Alhamdulillah. Mashallah. Salam. Alhamdulillah. Barakallahu feekum jami'a. May Allah bless you all, ya ikhwan. طيب. I'll say it, Hamza, you say it. I'll say it, you say it. ارفع صوتك. Raise your voice inshallah ya Hamza. أبدأ بالحمد مصليا على محمد خير نبي أرسل. ما شاء الله يا همزة. أحسنت. تفضل يا شيخ. I'll say it, you say it. What's your name again? Yusuf. أبدأ بالحمد مصليا على محمد خير نبي أرسل. ما شاء الله جميلا. أحسنت. يا شيخ. أبدأ بالحمد مصليا على محمد خير نبي أرسل. أحسنت. أبي لو شيخ لبان تفضل. أبدأ بالحمد مصليا على محمد خير نبي أرسل. أحسنتم. First sister who wants to recite. أبدأ بالحمد مصليا على محمد خير نبي أرسل. MashaAllah, جميلا. Our second sister wants to recite أبدأ بالحمد مصليا على محمد خير نبي أرسل. MashaAllah. Our third sister, she wants to recite أبدأ بالحمد مصليا على محمد خير نبي أرسل. أحسنتي. How many sisters we have? Our fourth sister, she wants to recite أبدأ بالحمد مصليا على محمد خير نبي أرسل. نبي أرسل. Ahsanti. Anyone else from our mothers and our daughters, or rather our daughters, our sisters? Sister number, what number? Number 5. Anyone else from our daughters and our sisters? أبدأ بالحمد مصليا على أبدأ بالحمد. That was our last sister, لا بأس. طيب, من يريد أن يترجم? Who can translate this first line? Our sister has her hands up. Anyone else wants to recite from this? From our daughters, from our sisters? That was the last one? لا بأس. طيب, من يترجم هذا البيت الأول? Who can translate this first line? ما معنى بدأ? What does it mean بدأ? أين أنتم من هذه الكلمة? Who knows this word? بدأ. بدأنا الدرس بعيد صلاة العصر. Hey, بدأ means to begin, to start. So he says أبدأ. هذا الألف يرجع دائما إلى أنا. You brothers and sisters who study Arabic, anytime you see the alif on the mudari', on the present tense verb, is always going to go back to the speaker, to I. So he says أبدأ. He's talking about himself. I begin, meaning this particular book. بالحمد, with sending praise upon Allah. مصليا على, sending salutations upon. So he says أبدأ بالحمد مصليا على. I begin, the author, I begin sending praise upon Allah. مصليا على, sending salutations upon. Muhammadin, the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salam. Or rather he says Muhammad. Khayri nabiyyin ursila, the best of the prophets that have been sent. ما فرق بين النبي والرسول? What's the difference between a prophet and a messenger? من يجيب? Who can answer? تفضل.
A messenger is sent with Allah.
Messenger is sent?
With Allah.
With Allah? What do you mean with Allah? Explain. اشرح قليلا.
A new law.
Oh, Allah. طيب, a messenger is sent with a new legislation, a new law. What about a prophet?
And a prophet follows the legislation of
And a prophet follows that legislation. طيب, هذا جيد. You could say that. That's a good answer. Anyone else? الفرق بين النبي والرسول. The difference between a prophet and a messenger. طيب, أعطيكم فائدة خفيفة عظيمة إن شاء الله. I give you a small, hopefully beneficial benefit. طيب, ما فرق بين النبي والرسول? What's the difference between a prophet and a messenger? طيب, النبي, طيب, كلهم كلاهما أمر. Both of them have, طيب, كلاهما أوحي إليهما. Both of them have been revealed upon them revelation. The prophets and the messengers. They both have been, Allah Ta'ala spoke to both of them. Allah Ta'ala revealed revelation to both, the prophets and the messengers. وَالرَّسُولُ أُمِرَ بِالْتَبْلِيغِ. But the messengers are commanded to teach it, or to give it out, to convey it. فالفرق بين النبي والرسل الرسل أمر بالتبليغ والنبي ما أمر بالتبليغ. The difference between the two, they both have been received, or they both have received revelation, but only the messenger is commanded to convey it. فكلنا تعلمنا علما مثلا. So all of us we're studying, we're seeking knowledge inshallah. إذا نؤمر بتبليغه مثلا فنكون من الرسل مثلا. So all of us are seeking knowledge. If we're commanded to give this knowledge to the people, this is the messengers. So they both have been received revelation, or they both have received revelation. But the messengers are commanded to give it. The prophets are not commanded to give it. ولذلك قال بعض العلماء أن مريم من الأنبياء. هذا القول عند بعض السلف رحمهم الله تعالى. For this reason, some of the great imams of the past, from them Al-Bayhaqi, from them Ibn Hajar, from them Ash-Shawkani, they have the point of view. It's the minority, it's not the majority of positions, but it's a small percentage of the people of knowledge. They say, based upon that definition, Maryam is a prophet. وقال الآخرون لا. Other scholars say no. She's a righteous woman, لكن أوحي أو أوحيت أو أوحى الله تعالى عليها. Other scholars say no, she's not a prophet. She's a righteous woman, but Allah Ta'ala sent down revelation upon her. So the scholars differ. So if you hear some scholars say she's a prophet, some say that. If you hear some scholars say she's not a prophet, most scholars say that. So what's the difference between a prophet and a messenger? Huh? Yusuf?
Messengers are like obligated
To do what?
to
Convey. They both receive revelation. النبي والرسل. النبي والرسول. لكن الرسل أمروا بالتبليغ. But the messengers are commanded to give it. The prophets don't have to say anything. The messengers, they've been commanded to give it. طيب, I'll say it, you say it. I'll say it, you say it. أبدأ بالحمد مصليا على محمد خير نبي أرسل. But now we're going to say the whole thing. I'll say it, you say it. I'll say it, you say it. أبدأ بالحمد مصليا على محمد خير نبي أرسل.
أبدأ بالحمد مصليا على محمد خير نبي أرسل.
جميلا. طيب, للواجب إن شاء الله تعالى for homework أريدكم كتابة هذا البيت 10. So for homework I want you to write down this first line 10 times. 10 times only inshallah. 10 minutes you'll be done. طيب, نبدأ إن شاء الله تعالى ببعض تعليقات. Let's talk about some benefits inshallah. طيب, الحمد. خذ الفراغ. Take an empty space and write the meaning of alhamd. The meaning of alhamd. طيب, you're going to say الثناء على الله بأسمائه الحسنى وصفاته العلى مع الحب والتعظيم. What does it mean, praise? The word alhamd. He says it is extolling Allah by mentioning His blessed names and lofty attributes. Extolling Allah by mentioning His blessed names and lofty attributes, along with love and glorification. So this is praise. When you extol Allah, you send praise upon Allah, you extol Him بأسمائه الحسنى وصفاته العلى, by mentioning His lofty names and noble qualities or descriptions, along with love. You have to have love there. Without love, it's not praise. Has to be مع الحب والتعظيم, with love and glorification. طيب, who wants to recite the first line inshallah before we go to line number 2? Fadal.
Sisters me.
You.
أبدأ بالحمد مصليا على محمد خير نبي أرسل.
ما شاء الله. أحسنت. يوسف تفضل.
أبدأ بالحمد مصليا على محمد غير نبي رسلا.
MashaAllah. Hamza, give it a try, Hamza. Abda'u.
أبدأ بالحمد مصليا على محمد خير نبيا أرسل.
MashaAllah. One of our sisters, the whole line, all by yourself. MashaAllah. Our second sister, all by yourself. Wahdaki. MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Our third sister, Tfadali. MashaAllah. Our fourth sister, all by yourself, the whole line. MashaAllah. Ahsantum jami'an, ahsantum jami'an. Anyone else from our sisters? We have a fifth reciter. أبدأ بالحمد. أحسنتي. طيب الثاني, second line. أقولها وأنتم تقولونها بعدي. I'll say it, you say it. I'll say it, you say it. أبدأ بالحمد مصليا على
مصليا على
محمد خير نبي أرسل
محمد خير نبي أرسل
وذي من أقسام وذي من أقسام الحديث عدة وذي من أقسام الحديث عدة وكل واحد أتى وحده وذي من أقسام الحديث عدة وكل واحد أتى وحده أبدأ بالحمد مصليا على محمد خير نبي أرسل وذي من أقسام الحديث عدة وكل واحد أتى وحده أحسنتم. طيب البيت الثاني, the second line, he says وذي من أقسام الحديث عدة. هنا يجوز لفظان. Here there are two ways to pronounce this first part. Some of the books, if you see the alif on the aqsam, the first alif doesn't have a hamza. What's the alif called with no hamza? Hamzatul wasl. Ahsant. So here you can say وَذِي مِنَقَ. You can join the noon to the qaf. You can join the noon to the qaf. مِنَقَ. And perhaps that's the best way. وَذِي مِنَقَ. Or you can stop and say وَذِي مِن أَقْسَامِ. So there are two ways. You can skip that hamzatul wasl and go from the noon وَذِي مِنَقَ. Or you can stop on the noon وَذِي مِن أَقْسَامِ. So that's up to the reader, inshallah ta'ala. Perhaps the first way is better, that you skip that wasl. وَذِي مِنَقَ. طيب. So now he says وَذِي مِنْ أَقْسَامِ الْحَدِيثِ عِدَّةً. So now the categories of hadith عدة. There are a number of categories of hadith. الراجح والله أعلم أقسام الحديث ثلاثة. Write this down. The strongest opinion of the people of knowledge is that there are three types of al-hadith. Only three. Three types of al-hadith. وَالثَّانِيَةِ, another benefit. So the first benefit I want you to learn, the strongest opinion of the scholars Hamza is that there are three types of hadith. Only three. وقال بعض العلماء قسمان. Other scholars say no, there are two types of hadith. So I want you to write down both. Some scholars say 3, and that's the strongest opinion. Other scholars say 2. For those that say 3, what are they? Huh? Sahih, Da'if, and Hasan. MashaAllah, MashaAllah. For those scholars that say 3, you're going to say Sahih, Da'if, Hasan. Sahih, Da'if, Hasan. For those that say 2, Ma huma, what are they? Ahsantum jami'an, Sahih and Da'if. طيب. Why do the scholars differ? أحيان. Our sister, تفضلي.
It's because the Sahih they divided it out to include also Hasan.
MashaAllah. Because some scholars say that Hasan is included into the Sahih. So there's no need to mention, it's already mentioned. Other scholars say no. There's one type of Hasan that is included to the Sahih. The other type of Hasan is in the Da'if. So they differ there. At any rate, sometimes you're going to find in your studies that some scholars differ. Some scholars differ. Imam Ahmad min talamid al-Shafi'i والشافعي من تلاميذ مالك. Imam Ahmad was a student of al-Shafi'i. Al-Shafi'i was a student of Imam Malik. Sometimes Ahmad differ with al-Shafi'i. Sometimes al-Shafi'i differ with al-Imam Malik. It's not a condition that you have to agree with your teacher in everything. I just had the honor to write a book. Inshallah, you get a copy soon. It's called Al-Jami' al-Sahih fi Sifat Salat al-Nabi. I called it the authentic collection of hadith regarding how the Prophet prayed. One of my mashaykh, his name is Abu Abdullah al-Masna'i. I refer to him a lot. I'm actually reading his book now. He said, I think you should change the title. I said, why, Shaykh? He said, because the word Jami', your book is a summarization. You should put Muntaqa. He said, Jami' is not really used for summarizations. It's used for those big collections of hadith. The book I wrote only has about 100 hadith or so. I just wrote the hadith to teach the students how the Prophet prayed, hadith after hadith after hadith. And then I intend to come back later and write an explanation, inshallah. So I say, Shaykh, I don't want to use the word Muntaqa. I want to use the word Jami'. At any rate, sometimes you may differ with your teachers, ikhwan. As long as you do so with manners and kindness and gentleness, that doesn't harm ever. Some students think, if my Shaykh says it, I have to agree. If he's giving you the Quran and Sunnah, that's different. His opinion, her opinion, your opinion, it's okay to differ. Sometimes you say to your wife, hey, this is just my opinion. Take it if you wish, leave it if you wish. Sometimes you say to the students, هذا رأيي, this is my opinion. No one should get offended ever. طيب. So how many categories of hadith? Some scholars say what? ثلاثة. Other scholars say? What's the strongest? ثلاثة. أحسنت. طيب. وكل واحد أتى وحتى. And every hadith that comes has a definition. وكل حديث وكل واحد أتى وحتى. The word had has a limit, meaning each category we're going to learn, there's a meaning for this hadith. There's a meaning for this hadith. طيب. اكتبوا هذا. علم الحديث ينقسم إلى القسمين. The next benefit, inshallah, today's class may be short, so the brothers and sisters can get back to their Quran, inshallah ta'ala. Next benefit, write this down, Hamza, Yusuf, write this down. The science of hadith is divided into 2 parts. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. May Allah bless you. How do you guys study all those different sciences? May Allah bless you and bless all the Muslims. You put your trust in Allah Ta'ala and say Bismillah. May Allah bless you. The science of hadith has 2 parts. Science of hadith has 2 parts. First part, ilmu riwayah. Ilmu, now I want you to write this word down to memorize the phrase. Ilmu riwayah. If you write in Arabic, most of you can write in Arabic, mashallah ta'ala, and I implore you to write in Arabic. And those who haven't reached that level yet, no problem. We'll write in English until we get there. We'll write it out. For those writing in English, I want you to write ilmu. I-L-M-U. Ilmu. I-L-M-U. Next word, riwaya. Riwaya. R-I-W-A-A. Riwaya. Y-A-H. R-I-W-A-A-Y-A-H. Ilmu riwaya. Ilmu riwaya. I'll say it, you say it. Ilmu riwaya.
علم رواية.
Alright, sent. Next category. Skip a line. Ilmu diraya. Ilmu diraya. Same first word. I-L-M-U. I-L-M-U. Ilmu. Last word. Diraya. Diraya. D-I-R-A-A. Y-A-H. Ilmu diraya. Ilmu diraya. Who can repeat those two phrases? Yusuf, Hamza, تفضل.
علم رواية علم دراية.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. One of our sisters we didn't hear yet. One of the younger sisters. Two phrases. The one closer to us. What are those two phrases? One of our sisters, help her out. First phrase. Ilm al-riwaya. Second phrase. Ahsant. Ilm al-riwaya. Ilm al-diraya. Second part of tonight's homework. Memorizing these two phrases. So we have two lines of poetry. I want you to write them out 10 times. And we have two phrases. Ilm al-riwaya. Ilm al-diraya. What is ilm al-riwaya? علم الرواية هو حفظ الأحاديث وروايتها. When you say riwaya, you're talking about the narration itself. The riwaya, the narration. So this was when you focus on the actual wording of the hadith. You're not talking about who narrated it. You're not talking about the men of the chain. The Messenger of Allah says in authentic hadith, what's the hadith, ya ikhwan? إنما الأعمال بالنيات وإنما لكل امرئ ما نوى من حديث عمر عند البخاري ومسلم. The Messenger of Allah says, actions are based upon intentions, and everyone will have whatever he or she intends. Narrated by Umar, collected by Bukhari and Muslim. The riwayah is talking about the hadith. إنما الأعمال بالنيات. Just the wording. It's focusing on the actual wording of the hadith. That's it. وعلم دراية هو معرفة الأحوال الرجال وسنيد الأحاديث وتمييز الصحيح من الضعيف. The second part is what we're doing in this class. We're not going to memorize hadith here. The diraya is what we're studying tonight. That's the having knowledge of the condition of the men of the chain. I say, what's our beloved brother here name again? I say حدثني أكرم عن حمزة عن يوسف عن شيخ مايرة عن الأخت الأولى والثانية والثالثة والرابعة والخامسة عن الشيخ. هذا سند. So this is my chain. I say Akram narrated from me, or Akram narrated to me, that Hamza narrated to him, that Yusuf narrated to him, that Myra narrated to him, from our first sister, from our second sister, from the third sister to the fifth, from our sheikh right here. All that's the chain of hadith. So you have the riwayah, the wording, and then you have the diraya talking about the chain. This one is weak, this one is authentic, this one is reliable, this one has a good memory, this sister here has a strong memory, Akram here fabricates hadith, Hamza gets it wrong sometimes, Yusuf, all that's talking about the second category. So he says, it's ma'rifatu ahwal rijal sanad. It's when you're talking about the condition of the men of the chain. What tamyiz is sahih min al-da'if. And when you break down and differentiate which hadith is authentic, which hadith is hasan, what makes it hasan, why is this hadith da'if, that's what we're going to do in this class, inshallah ta'ala. Tayyib. So we'll stop there, inshallah. We did 2 lines. Who can recite both lines, either from memory or from your notes? Tafadhal, Shaykh.
أبدأ بالحمد مصليا على محمد خير نبي أرسل وذي من أقسام الحديث عدة وكل واحد أتى وحده.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Ahsant. One of our sisters, Tafadhali. Can we repeat the meaning of the second line of poetry? وَذِي مِنْ أَقْسَامِ الْحَدِيثِ عِدَّةً. And each category of hadith, عِدَّة. I will make it easy, ikhwan. And the categories of hadith, they are a certain number. If you categorize and count the numbers up, there are a certain number of the categories of hadith. The correct opinion is that there are 3. So you're going to write, the categories of hadith are a certain number. The categories of hadith are a specific number. وَكُلُّ وَاحِدٍ أَتَى وَحَتَّى. And every one that comes, meaning the hadith, has a meaning. Hasan has a meaning, Sahih has a meaning, Da'if has a meaning, Munqati' has a meaning, the hadith that has a broken chain. The hadith that is mu'dal has a meaning, the hadith that is mursal. This is how the scholars classify each of the hadith. And this book here is one of my favorite sciences, ya ikhwan, hadith, even more than Arabic. I love Arabic too, but I love hadith more, alhamdulillah. I wish we had more time, for example. So, as once again, we can come out of Ramadan and all of our sisters, all of our brothers can learn how to identify Sahih, how to identify Hasan, how to identify Da'if. That would be awesome, ya ikhwan. So we're going to try our best, inshallah. This class, I believe, was tonight, Mondays and Tuesdays. We'll try our best, inshallah, to try to change another class around too. For Surah Thalatha, we're going to try to memorize that, and also this book here. Even if you don't memorize the poetry, the most important is knowing the definitions. Poetry is not that important. I don't really memorize a lot of poetry myself, every once in a blue, mashallah. At any rate, the most important is the meanings. When we get to what is Sahih, what is Hasan, what is Da'if, that's the most important. So once again, today we started a new book, the beginning of Bayquuniyyah. تعلمنا بيتين, we learned 2 lines, walhamdulillah. وبعض تعبيرات, we learned some phrases. وعلمنا أو تعلمنا أن أقسام الحديث أو أن علم الحديث ينقسم إلى قسمين. We also learned that the science of hadith is broken down into 2. Now the science of hadith is different than the types of hadith. I don't want anyone to misunderstand. The science of hadith, the whole science of hadith, is broken down into 2 parts. علم الرواية, علم الدراية. The knowledge that focuses on the wording of the Messenger of Allah, riwayah, and the knowledge of dirayah. We're talking about the types of hadith, who's who in the chain, this one is fabricated hadith, this one is a liar, this one is reliable, this one makes the hadith weak, this one makes the hadith sahih. So 2 types, or 2 categories of the science. But there are 3 types of hadith. To make it easy, we mentioned, our sister, she mentioned Sahih, Da'if, and Hasan. Sahih is only 2 types. Hasan is 2 types. The remaining types are all Da'if. So we just learned the whole science in 30 seconds. Sahih, Sanad, and Matan. That'll be easy way. The Sanad and the Matan. The Riwayah is the Matan, the text. The Sanad is the men or women who are in the chain. Sometimes there are women in the chain. There are men, I gave the benefit the other night, that there's never been a woman who ever fabricated hadith. Not one. Allahu Akbar. But most of them, all of them are men who made up hadith. Not one woman, mashallah ta'ala, ever fabricated a hadith, according to the scholars of hadith. Sahih is 2 types. Hasan is 2 types. The remaining of the hadith are all weak. The remaining of the hadith are all weak. طيب نكتفي بهذا واستعبد يا إخوان وجزاكم الله خيرا فإن أصبت فمن الله وإن أخطأت فمن نفسي. Anything that we said that's correct is from Allah. Anything we said is incorrect is from ourselves. And may Allah bless you all. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.